Hey guys, Grungelamp Zero Gaming back here, and in today's video, I have a pretty cool video for you guys today. It's pretty controversial, I guess. But I'm just going to explain why this could happen, why it will happen, probably in the future, and what Rockstar has said about this matter. So guys, this is, will there be a Red Dead Redemption 3? This is also kind of like an interesting video that I've been wanting to make. I have like a lot of good research and just topics invested into this, and yeah, this is pretty much it. So let's jump right into it and start with Red Dead Redemption 3. What would it be about? So if you guys don't know, Red Dead Redemption 1 happens right after the events of John, Marston, and him getting his farm, and him starting that, and him trying to have a quiet life. Now, what's interesting about that is it ended up just skipping until his years kind of thing. They wanted to have a good story too when he ran with the gang. I get that. So it's probably, the best that he, they waited to do that. But if they made a Red Dead Redemption 3, I think what would be interesting about that is if they did the exact same thing. They could start off with Dutch getting the gang together and Arthur, all these people coming in, and then they could, at the very end, you would play as Mac Callender, of course, and you'd end up dying instead of on a mountain or something like that. You'll die in your wagon, or probably it's gonna say, just when you get into the cabin, he's gonna look around, and then that's it. And see, that'd make for a pretty good storyline. I'm just paraphrasing all of that would happen, but that's basically it, and what I could see happening, because they left it on a pretty good storyline. I thought they were gonna start out during the Blackwater, but they ended up right after the Blackwater incident, which is kind of interesting. So they could ended up of you getting shot at Blackwater, and what really happened there. Now that would be pretty interesting. So let's go and talk about Rockstar. So they've been pretty vague on this. You can those questionnaires, ask them what would they do kind of thing, and what's their plan. So they haven't really announced it, of course, because you know how they work. They're gonna make a few more GTAs and then maybe come back or start their own new series. But for me, I would think, and especially with them, this doesn't seem like the biggest thing that they would do right now. I think, yeah, of course they're going to go on and make new things. Now, what would they do about it? So since it wasn't as popular as their normal series, I think it's going to be a while before we see any Red Dead Redemption 3. Even though they have the storyline pretty much good to go, they still need to tie up the loose ends of what their other fans want, or most of their fans. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good storyline, and they really haven't said too much, but how online works and stuff. So you probably end up hearing about GTA 6 or something like that before we even get into going into Red Dead Redemption 3. So they haven't really said a lot about that. All I just know is they might be coming out with new updates or expansions for this game, but not too much and they haven't really released. The last update was in May, and that was about it. Now they really haven't said anything, only for a few more patches, in Red Dead, but nothing too serious yet. So, we'll have to wait, and it's not maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe even decades before we get a Red Dead Redemption 3. I mean, that's how it went from 1 to the second one. So if we're going off those timelines, then this probably might be way farther into the future than we think. So let's talk about why this would happen. So I think they would do this just because they need to. I think because they made too much of what they're known for. They wanted to take a break, and they had the storyline well prepared for Red Dead Redemption 2, and the great graphics too. I mean, this is a great Western game, and I think they kind of took their advantage too of why there was no Western games out right now. There's not too many good ones out right now, except for this one. So I think they're gonna wait again until there's needing for Westerns, because you don't want too many of them, and then now there's an overflow of them in the market. and now everybody's doing, I wouldn't say exactly what GTA or like Watch Dogs, I wouldn't say they're doing exactly that, but there's way too many modern shooters out there. So it was, I guess, they kind of like had to pull this stunt just to see if that would work, and because the market is kind of getting flooded by those games. So I think they were smart to do this, and I really enjoyed this game personally. So they might even start their own series on this soon. And then I think one of the things, and this is like the big one, is when will it happen? So this is a pretty it's like pretty touchy topic of like Red Dead Redemption 3. They really haven't released anything, like I said. It's really far out there. That doesn't mean that they won't release any new expansions though, or like if you go to Canada or Mexico. Now you do that in Red Dead Redemption 1, so it would make sense that they wouldn't do that. But Canada is like, they have Ambarino, but it'd be interesting if you could go farther into Canada instead. Or maybe an easier way to get back to Guarma. You can glitch there, but it's not like you can take a boat there or anything, or fast travel there. So I guess that's kind of the problem right now. So if they could do that, that would be like a pretty nice update if they were able to do that. That would get a lot of people back as well. And then another thing, on top of more things, they don't have too much actually posted about Red Dead Redemption 2. They really don't have any really news right now, but everybody knows that they're probably going to make a GTA 6. Now they haven't released any trailers on that. They've actually been adding on to GTA 5, which is years old. So I don't know if they're just gonna keep adding on to that and then just string it out and try to make a Red Dead Redemption 3. Now, as money-wise go, it was a pretty big seller. It's like the most sold game on the PS4 in that time, and even still now. So it's like high up there. So it's huge. So that's it. So they might do it. They've always been a big company. People will buy what they make. It's kind of that, and they make pretty good stuff too. Especially the fact that the graphics are just so good. They're lifelike, and that's it. They can bring in a lot of different people, and it's good. And they have something for everybody. Sometimes if you're a camper, in game you're a hunter. I'm not too much of that person, but there's a lot of that for it. There's a lot of stealing and bank robbing and being an outlaw, which right here. So that's basically it. So they have a lot of good perks to the game, and that's why I could see them making a Red Dead Redemption 3, because it is a pretty, I wouldn't say like beloved game, but I'd say it was a really popular game, and a lot of people really liked it. But now it's dying, like most games. People move on, so that's just how video games work, and they could wait off a little bit. Now, if they made a GTA 6, they would get so many more revenue sales off of like the charts that I've seen, that just more people bought one thing over the other. Even though there probably are more players on each, I guess, console now than there ever were before, that doesn't mean that the numbers will be right for each one. There might have been less people playing on the consoles in 2013 era, 2015 era, when they had like their prime GTA time. So I guess that's really what I have to say here. I guess in conclusion, if they were to make a Red Dead Redemption 3, that would be super cool. It'd take a lot more time, like last time. I still think they're gonna make more updates to this before they even consider making a Red Dead Redemption 3. I think the storyline is perfect. If they wanted to go off of Red Dead Redemption 1 and then they made the Red Dead Redemption 2 just before that. So if we're going backwards, it'd go great with Matt Callender on the Blackwater boat getting shot. It would make perfect sense for that. But anyway, guys, before I go, I just want to say it would make a great expansion, but there's no news yet, so we'll keep waiting for Rockstar to let something out. And there hasn't been too much said from Rockstar, only the little updates. But hopefully we'll get an expansion too, or go up into Canada or something like that. People have been proposing that, but we really can't trust conspiracy theories or anything like that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm GrunchLab0 Gaming. Please subscribe if you like daily content update on video games. Please check out my other content, because I kind of have something for everybody. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys in the next